Hello, hello, and welcome to our ongoing book club of The Art of Returning to Love, How to Show Fear and Stress the Exit and Heal. And there are links in the description, where is it, above this video, for you to get the book for free if you'd like it, or on Amazon. And so today we've been talking, just going through the chapters and talking about, the really important points. And today we're going to be talking about grounding and connecting and opening our field. And this is a version of energy management. And the better we get at this, it becomes more like a mastery. And it's called running energy. And um, we'll learn actually more in the second and third books of this series. This book that we're talking about now is the first of three. It's a regular practice, right? Like a tennis player doesn't go out onto the tennis court and say, um, well, I'll just wait to practice my serve until the match, or the game or whatever you call it. They don't. They practice their serves over and over and over and over and over until they have it like embedded in their system, in their cells, that there's a memory, there's brain tracks, there's neural pathways, there's a communication network in the entire system that gives them access in a nanosecond. And that's what we're talking about here. Most people tend to connect when something is wrong. But if we wait until then, without having practiced ahead of time, we're often connecting out of desperation. And then there's just a whole, I don't know, sea of doubt, really, instead of trust. And it just doesn't work out quite as well. And we also, there's no strength in it, right? When we practice something over and over, we feel strong, we feel confident. We feel like there's a relationship with the energy of the thing. So, that way when you're doing this all the time, and then when there are hard times, when there are bumps in the road, you'll know how it feels for your higher self to actually be there for you and have your back, right? And for you to actually have a choice in how the energy flows in you and in reference to the thing, the bump in the road, the thing that's coming up, that's having you need to call on this strength, right? If we don't have this strength of practice, generally we tend to crumble into a puddle of emotional weakness when something comes up. So it's one of the reasons why it's really important to practice. So there's a grounding piece, there's a connecting piece, and there's a filling of our field piece. Also in the description box is a link to the resource page for this book that gives you a complimentary guided imagery audio that you can. I suggest, this is just training wheels. I suggest that you use the audio as often as you need to kind of commit it to memory so that you can do it anytime, anywhere for yourself without needing the audio. That's actually the objective, right? Because then there are little pieces that your own higher presence gives you insights to that are yours for you, not just mine, not the ones I've made up for me, right? And so make sure that you do it enough times from the guided imagery that I provide on that resource page until you start doing it in your own way, in your own versions, right? And you need to feel it. You need to feel like, oh yes, I am grounded. So the grounding part is where we're dropping our lines of energy into the core of Mother Earth and anchoring it like a boat drops an anchor in the deep sea. And then it is anchored and it can hang out there even in rough waters. And this is our idea too. You might have even heard of grounding, or what are the other things they call it? Earthing. We are connected by an electromagnetic field to the earth that we live on. We almost always forget that, so we forget to cultivate or at least tend this relationship, like tending a garden. So when you drop your energy into the core of Mother Earth and then you draw the essence of her energy up like a tree does, it's called hydrophil, up against gravity, you're drawing this energy and you're fueling and filling yourself with this essence. It's a nourishment that you cannot get anywhere else. And I highly recommend it because it as we gather our years, we need sources of nourishment that don't come in what we normally think of as nourishment. So we're drawing this energy up. This is holding us, just like the earth holds a tree, however tall and wide it gets, and however many years it stands upon the earth, with all of these roots that go down below the surface of the earth. We know that, but we don't see it. So we kind of forget it's there, right? We have the same thing. This holds us steady, sturdy, stable, and strong as a human being, a tree of life, if you will, which we all are. That's an analogy. We'll talk about that another time. But it holds us while we are, um, having the winds of life flow through our branches and swaying us, and also as the sun is nourishing us, just like it does a tree. So speaking of that, the connecting part is the acknowledgement and the acceptance of a life force that is, part a lot from the sun, but also the other cosmic elements in the air. It's the stars, it's the galaxy elements that we don't pay much attention to this as we're breathing throughout the day, but there is a cosmic life force that is floating around that you don't see in your airspace now, that is way more than just oxygen alone. It's why breathing and the presence of breath as often as you can is so important. And a lot of times people say, oh God, well, my days are so busy and I've got all these things going on. I don't have really time to pay attention and be present to my breath. It just seems so menial to a lot of people. But I will say to you, from my own personal experience and from experience of others that I've worked with along the years, when we are present to our breath, everything works out, and it works out better than we could think, right? Because our thoughts are limited. Our system connected to the field of life is way more intelligent than our own small human mind, right? So the idea, and the guided imagery will take you through this, is that you're connecting to the earth, you're intentionally reaching up, whether you feel this or not, but you're reaching up to the central core of creation and asking for a release. This is the intentional, like, acceptance and allowing and receiving of a waterfall of life force to come into the top of your head and meet the energy from below. Often this can happen in the heart space, because the heart space is like a fulcrum or a center point, if you will, between the energies above and the energies below. Interestingly, in Chinese medicine, and this comes out of the philosophy of nature, really, if I were to put it into those words, a human being is the midpoint between, they say heaven, but this isn't about a religious heaven. It's about the cosmic life forces between heaven and earth. So it's kind of like an Oreo cookie. We're the cream between the two sides of an Oreo cookie. And when we're present and conscious and we get good at running this energy between the earth, ourself, and the cosmic forces above, it changes a lot. So I can't even, I've been doing this for so long, I can't remember how it was in the beginning, but I just remember being kind of blown away, like, wow, there is something to this, and I never stopped doing it. And I do it every day, all day, and it is very significant. And I can't even hardly put it into words. It's like if I were to try to tell you, if you've never tasted a strawberry, to try to tell you the taste of a strawberry, it's kind of hard to do, right? I would give you a strawberry and say, here, taste it, and then you'll know. And so that's the idea here. So we're grounding, we're connecting. There are different flavors of life force, if you will, between the sun and the cosmic life force energy and the essence of earth, right? The essence of earth is yin, the essence of the life force of the cosmic realm is yang, and we need both in right balance. This is the alpha and the omega, the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, the light and the dark, the light and the love, if you will. So the dark is, I think of as the womb space of the feminine energy. It's where all creation comes from. And so we don't need to be afraid of the dark per se. We need to invite the light so that there's a harmonious dance between the two, in balance. Perfect health is a perfect balance between yin and yang. No, not very many people have that, but this is what we're looking for. This is what Chinese medicine is working with in individuals when they come for acupuncture, herbs, or nutritional therapy, right? So, and then the next thing, so we're grounding, we're connecting, and then we're filling our field, which is the space around us, approximately 3 to 5 feet. If you put your hands all the way around, it will be at about the place at the tip of your fingers, and that this is your personal etheric field. And so when you invite light, when you invite your higher presence to fill this field, when you invite Mother Earth to fill, um, when you invite the essence from Mother Earth to be in your field, this is a source of life force and protection and fuel that again, I'll say over again, that you cannot really get anywhere else. You can't get it in food. You can't get it in journaling. I mean, there's nothing wrong with those things. I love them all, right? But I'm just saying this is distinctly different, and you will begin to feel the distinct difference when you play with it in an ongoing way. So yeah, so that's also part of the guided imagery. And this is in the book what I'm going to say here, but what I like to, because sometimes when we have a visual, it's just easier to go, okay, I can get that. So the visual I like for our field is like a hot air balloon. When a hot air balloon is in the air, most of us have seen that visual. It's pretty beautiful. There's lots of colors. It's filled. And that's how it is like when our field is full. And the difference between that and the hot air balloon being a collapsed pile of material on the ground is very similar to our field. When we're not tending our field, when we're not grounded and rooted and connected and inviting our field to be full with light and love and peace and protection and perfection from the divine, right, from our higher presence, then our field tends to collapse. And fear, everything under the umbrella of fear, and there's a whole list of this in the book, everything under the umbrella of fear, if we're not careful, if we're not tending this, causes our field to collapse. And when our field is collapsed, we're sort of bare to the elements, if you will. There are thought forms, there are fear forms, there are, radio waves, there are just all kinds of energies that we don't see floating through the air that can, that we can actually attract into us if our field is not full, right? And then it takes a lot of energy to kind of clean up that mess, if you will. So it's just so much easier to keep our field full and open. So think of your field as a hot air balloon. Make sure that it's always you could even just take a deep breath in and exhale the energy into your field and call it open, right? There's a lot of ways you can do this, and I suggest you play with those ways so that you can sort of tap into the ways that make it feel right and whole and good for you. One of the things that I do is every time, I've probably said this before, I drink a lot of tea. You've seen me with my teacup a lot. And so I end up needing to go to the bathroom a lot. So every time I go to the bathroom, I ground connect and make sure my field is full. To me, that's just like one of the associations that I do all day long. So there's very little time allowed or left in the day for my field to be collapsed. When I first started doing this, I would just do it in the morning. And then by a half an hour, my field was collapsed. I didn't realize it. And it would be that way all day, all night until I come around to the next, morning meditation and setup, if you will. So now I do it on the regular. You can do it every time you get a text. You can do it when you take a sip out of your water. And whatever you do regularly that is already a grounded in habit for you, if you just include this, if you take an extra 30 seconds to do this, it will serve you. The return on the investment of this attention will be so good for you. So things to be aware of, I would like to say, before I say things to be aware of when you're practicing this, I just want to say, if we've not yet met, I'm Lori Morse, a 30-year practitioner of Chinese medicine and the director of the Sacred Health Academy. And in the Sacred Health Academy, it's a lot of what's in this book. We teach women, we walk with women together in a community of like-hearted women who are basically getting their health back. And it tends to be that they put themselves on this path because they've tried everything. They know they have to include their sacred self, but it hasn't been easy. And so, they're just wanting to really get their energy back, feel vital again, have peace in their heart and a calm mind, which all of us want, of course. Um, and then feel like they're making a good impact in their world, whatever that is, whether it's just, their family or their community or in a larger reach, right? So this is who I am. So, and my entire life and the rest of my life is devoted to this particular path. So, what I know, what I've learned in my 40 years of walking this path, just myself, not to mention working with so many other women, is that this idea of returning to love is the bullseye. It's the thing that if we do that, if we just focus on doing that, then everything else will fall into place. And I say that because a lot of times we get ourselves sort of really focused in many different, lots of balls in the air, let's say it that way. And all those balls are, okay, I want a better relationship, and I want a new job, or I want to start a business, and I want to lose weight, and I want to be healthier. We have all these things that we've got balls in the air around. And it feels like if we put our attention and our focus on this returning to love, this art of returning to love thing, that all these balls will crash and fall and our life will fall apart. But that's actually not what happens. It is not what happens. What happens when we put our focus and attention on returning ourselves to love, just for whatever's present in any given day, then all of those things start lining up. It's like your higher self becomes, the expert juggler, and everything happens in right order, in right timing, in right ways. And the only way for you to know that and trust that is to do it. So I'm inviting you to that. So anyway, some of the things that will happen, that could happen, things to be aware of, that when you start this grounding, connecting, and opening of your field, is that it might feel awkward in the beginning. Like anything, when we first start playing with something, it feels a little bit like patting our head and rubbing our tummy and chewing gum and walking at the same time. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. How do I do all that at once? If it feels like that for you, then just take a day or two or a week and just do the grounding. And then when that feels like, yeah, I got that. That feels pretty, like I have it under my belt, then just take a couple of days or a week and do just the connecting. Again, all of this is in the audio, the guided imagery. And then when you have that, then connect the two, and then do just the opening of your field for a few days, and then connect that in. And then you'll see that there's like a synchronistic rhythm that happens that becomes more natural and less awkward and less wobbly, if you will. Here's the other thing to know, is that your mind, our human mind, our small human mind, who really loves to run the show but is not a good showrunner, is not a good director of the whole show. It's only our mind is good at many, many things. Our minds, the intelligence of our mind, and this isn't about putting the mind down. It's just about putting the mind in the right seat. And the right seat is as a co-pilot and not the pilot. So, but the mind will want to convince you that it's kind of stupid to do this, and that you're even stupid. So don't, your mind will want to be saying things like, in whatever version it is for you, like, don't listen to this. There's nothing to this. I've got you. But the mind doesn't have us because the mind is limited, right? And the mind also might have you believing that it isn't safe to be that open and that connected. Yet the truth is that this light-filled space that you allow yourself to be in, this embodied, grounded, rooted, connected space that you allow yourself to be in, is the safest place you can be. It's safer than having bodyguards. It's safer. It's your personal secret service. And I kid you not. That is actually how it's referred to in mystery schools and spiritual teachings. It is a level of protection like no other. But you have to be in a regular, ongoing relationship with it for it to feel that way, right? So just remind yourself of this, and don't let your mind talk you out of it, because she will try. And I know that from personal experience. Just put your hand on your heart and talk to her, like just say, I know you feel like this is not safe, but you got to trust me on this. We're going to play with it. If we don't like it at the end of 30 days or whatever the setup you make for yourself, then we can reevaluate. But what I like to say, and I said this for years, and I might have already said this in one of our videos, right? But what I said for years is I am safe and protected in my divinity. I am safe and protected in my connection to the source of all life, whatever words you like to put to it. I'm looking off because I'm standing right next to a window and there's something going on out there today. Anyway, so and you can also ask your higher wisdom, hand on heart, and just say, hey, I want to do this, but it feels a little weird to me, and can you just teach me how to do this one step at a time? This is the wisdom that you have access to at any time. It's yours, right? But we have to connect to it. We are on a planet of free will, so we must use our free will to engage and to make sure that we invite our higher presence, our higher wisdom, our higher intelligence, our higher self to help us, right? We have to ask for that help and that guidance. And what else do I want to say? Just as a reminder, you are a light being in a physical body. So it kind of makes sense to give yourself light, to invite the light that you already are, but don't remember, into your system. That's part of what the connecting is. So, and it's actually important to give yourself light. That's another form of nourishment. I know I've used that word a couple of times, but light creates a sense of safety while you're grounded and connected. And you gotta do this. It's magical. Excuse me, is the best thing I can say. Also, well, read this part about in the book about your spiritual DNA and the light codes and the cellular memory that get activated with light. So that is what I have to share with you today. So I really want you to play with this and to let me know how it goes. Let me know how it feels. Check back in some weeks forward and just, let me know what has shifted as a result of you being consciously engaged in managing your energy in regards to grounding, connecting, and having a field that's open and filled with light that is protective, that allows you to have access to peace, a sense of centeredness that is really hard to have without it. And just let me know, okay? So thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to walk this path. And I look forward to next week.